Welcome to another episode in our series of Real People in Scripture, where we look at the lives of real people who lived in real places at very real times. We've been looking at the life of Abraham, and I want to finish that up today with the next step. We read in Genesis chapter 24 that Abraham was now very old, and the Lord had blessed him in so many ways, and he knew that his time was almost up, and yet his son Isaac was not yet married. And so Abraham called his servant, his senior servant, to him. And he said, look, I want you to go back to Haran. If you recall, Abraham was called out of Ur of the Chaldeans, and he and his family went to Haran, and they stopped there with his father Terah. And they lived there until Terah died. And apparently, some of their peoples were left there in Haran. And so Abraham did not want Isaac to take a son from among the Canaanite women. He wanted him to take someone who was from his same lineage, from the same household. And so he sent the servant back to Haran, and he said, look, find a wife for my son. And the servant said, well, what happens if I can't? And Abraham said, I believe that God will do this. And if he doesn't, I release you. You're free. Go do whatever you want with your life. But I believe God is going to work through you. And so the servant went, and it's a beautiful, really fascinating story that, again, you can read about it in Genesis 24. But the servant kind of created a test in his mind and said, look, Lord, if you want this to happen, then let me go here and let this happen. And he went there, and that happened. And this woman named Rebecca took the servant back to her house, and the servant told him how God was working, and how God was working in the life of Abraham, and how Abraham had sent him there to get a wife for his son Isaac. And so he said, look, I believe that God has called me here to take Rebecca back with me to be the wife of Isaac. Now, if it were me, if somebody came to me and said, look, my daughter's name is Katie. Look, God told me to come back here and take Katie off to a foreign land and become the wife of somebody that you don't know. But trust me, it's all going to be okay. I would have a problem with what that person proposed. And yet this man prayed to God. And he asked his daughter, well, what do you think? And his daughter said, I will go. Imagine the faith and the belief in a sovereign God that it took for the father and for the daughter to say, okay, I will go. I will go off to a distant land to be married to someone I've never seen and I don't know, because, well, we believe that God is sovereign and that God is working through this. And that's what they did. They went off, and Isaac married Rebekah, and they had two sons, Jacob and Esau. And well, the story, we'll save those for another episode. But again, my amazement here is that both the father and Rebekah said yes. I mean, how could Rebekah say, I will go, if she didn't trust in God with her whole heart, with her whole mind, with all that she had? So here's my challenge for you today. God's ways may seem strange. You may be looking at a situation that's happening in your life, and you may be saying, God can't be in this. God can't be doing this. This can't be of the Lord. And yet, as you pray about it, as you seek His direction, you say, look, I don't get it, but I believe in God. I believe in His sovereignty. I believe that He can work through even the strangest things to bring about good, to bring about His purposes. So my challenge for you today is be willing to say, I will go. I will go and do what you're asking me to do, Lord. I will take that step of faith. Because when God is behind it, you will be blessed. You will be able to rejoice when you see His perfect plans come to fruition. That's all the time we have. Remember, your time is His time. So please use it wisely. God bless.